Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards goes off this weekend at UFC London. A new main event, a little bit of a switch up. The original main event was supposed to be Leon Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena, but Jack Della Maddalena has been promoted up to a title shot with Belal Muhammad at UFC 315. So here we are, Leon Edwards looking to make his comeback, and Sean Brady wants to break through. All right, so stick around to hear my thoughts on the main event of UFC London this weekend. I'm Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Former welterweight champion Leon Edwards, who gave us the KO of the year in 2022 when he became champion with a 5th round head kick KO over Kamaru Usman, he's looking to bounce back because after having 2 successful title defenses against Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, he was frankly embarrassed at 5 a.m. local time by Belal Muhammad at UFC 304. That was his last fight in July, but before that, he had not lost since Kamaru Usman in 2015. He had a no contest in 2021 with Belal Muhammad and then had won all of his fights, Nate Diaz, Usman, and Colby, leading up to the Belal Muhammad loss, okay? Leon Edwards has said that the time of the fight being at 5 a.m. local time in Manchester was a big part of his loss and a big part of his lack of energy because he was essentially sleepwalking out there. And in my opinion, he didn't really show up. But Leon is a very impressive striker with good takedown defense and can mix up his grappling well when he wants to, but he does prefer a very clean striking match. Sean Brady is almost the complete opposite of that. Great wrestler with heavy jiu-jitsu, 17-1, his only career loss being to the champ Belal Muhammad in Abu Dhabi. Now, I believe that was on the Makhachev Oliveira card. Yeah, it was 280. And since then, he has beaten Kelvin Gastelum and Gilbert Burns, kind of just smushed both of them and got really good wins. I mean, 17-1 with wins over Michael Chiesa, Gastelum, and Burns. I mean, Sean Brady doesn't necessarily have the most impressive resume for being 17-1. He beat Jake Matthews, he beat Michael Chiesa, lost to Belal Muhammad, and then beat Gastelum and an aging Burns, if we're being honest. So this is a big step up. This is a big prove it to us type of night for Sean Brady with the UFC because he's got the look with the tattoos. He's actually a pretty entertaining grappler, and in my opinion, at least. And he's got that, like, he's kind of like jiu-jitsu Eddie Alvarez with that, like, kind of Philly vibe to him. And he's going up against the former champ, 2 vastly different styles. You have clean striker, technically so skilled Leon Edwards, and then take you down, grind it out, and submit you in Sean Brady. So it's basically going to be, in my opinion, a battle of who gets off their game plan. This is not one of those fights where the striker grapples and the grappler strikes. If this fight stays on the feet, Leon Edwards is going to piece Brady the fuck up. And if this fight hits the floor, Brady is going to get a sub or dominate to a decision win. Considering all of the possibilities with this fight, part of me wants to consider the health of the division because both of these guys have lost to Belal Muhammad. So neither of them is going to get a title shot, regardless of what Leon Edwards said about the winner of this fight gets a title shot. You have Jack Della Maddalena fighting the champ Belal in June at UFC 315, and then, or in May at UFC 315. You have Shavkat Rakhmonov, who the UFC has said deserves a title shot, has earned his title shot. He was supposed to have one against Belal in December, and that fell through. You have Shavkat waiting in the wings, and you can't forget that if Jack Della Maddalena wins that fight against Belal Muhammad, in my opinion, Islam's going to move up to 170, and you're going to have a vacant belt at 155 as well, which is crazy because we have so many belts that are such a mess right now. 145 vacated for the time being. 155 could get vacated. Ankalaev is champ at 205. What a mess. And then the whole John Jones, Tom Aspinall saga at heavyweight. But back to my point was Sean Brady and Leon Edwards, the winner's not getting a title shot because you have JDM title shot in May. You have Shavkat who's earned it and Islam who's earned it if he wants to move up. So the winner of this fight's probably going to have to fight another fight after this, or they're going to have to do a Belal or Colby type of situation where they sit out for a year and a half leading up to a title shot. So I think that Leon Edwards really has not shown me much in terms of improvement in his grappling. In my opinion, he's fighting a better grappler in Sean Brady than Belal Muhammad. Leon Edwards did get dominated in the grappling in his very last fight, and I don't know if this has been enough time to like completely reverse that. If Leon looks totally different, I'll believe his excuse on the time for UFC 304. But personally, I think Sean Brady is going to go in there and make it a very non-friendly and make it a very non-fan friendly fight, because you have Sean Brady coming in as the visiting team, Leon as the Englishman at home. And I think he's just going to get backpacked and choked at some point. I think Leon's going to lose this fight, and Leon's going to have kind of some questions about the future of his career, because I think he's 2 wins from a title shot right now. He's got to win this and one more. We'll see. But I think that Sean Brady I think it's going to be a very slow first and second round, because Leon starts slow. Sean Brady might want to take a little bit of time to get his timing on a takedown. And I think Sean Brady is going to control the fight. Leon's going to essentially check out like he did at UFC 304. And I think Brady's going to get a rear naked choke in round like 4 or 5, because Leon's going to get frustrated like he does when fights don't go his way and when fights are a little bit more dirty than he wants them to be, because he's a very clean technical striker. My official prediction is Sean Brady, patient in the first 2 rounds with attempts at takedowns, just showing them to mix it up. And then 3rd round, heavy grappling and top control from Sean Brady. Round 4 or 5, more of the same. Eventually, Leon gives his back and gets rear naked choked. That's my official prediction for UFC London this weekend. Did you like this video? Then like and subscribe down below. I also do multiple live streams per week, along with behind the scenes content and members only live streams for our channel members. So become a channel member for access to bonus content. It's only $5 per month, and it greatly helps the channel's growth. I also do a podcast with my best friend Bo, and I have a non-MMA channel as well called Wyatt's World. You can check both of those out, linked below.